Well, Tiger fans, the time is here. The first home football game of the year is here. My name is Jackson Carter, and alongside me is my partner in crime, Ben Klein.
Our very own OBU Tigers come home to AU Williams Field tomorrow for the first time this year when Southeastern Oklahoma comes to town.
Before we get to this week's big game, we're going to break down last week's game against ECU with our resident football expert, Dr. Motl.
All right, Dr. Motl, what are some things that the Tigers improved on in this win last week?
Well, Ben, the Tigers improved in all phases of the game. And on both sides of the ball, we see big plays by big playmakers altering the course of the contest and ultimately giving the Ouachita Tigers the win. We had timely conversions on 3rd and long. Our offense and defensive line won the battle at the line of scrimmage. In the second half, that meant our running game was able to run free in the secondary and score points, but most importantly, no turnovers. This was what did us in last year, a 24-17 Ouachita victory in Ada, Oklahoma, redemption from last season.
Definitely, and on the defensive side of the ball, obviously East Central, not a bad offensive football team. What did the defense do to really prevent them from get going on the offensive side of the ball?
Well, the defensive philosophy for Ouachita football is bend but don't break. And while there was some concern early on as the ECU offensive line was able to blow the occasional hole in our defensive line, they patched those gaps at halftime. You saw big plays by guys like Antoine Patterson, who not only pressured quarterback Spencer Bond, came up with a critical interception in the second half to move the ball the other way when ECU was driving and threatening to enter the red zone. So they stepped up their game, bend but don't break. That's exactly what happened on Saturday.
All right, Dr. Motl, let's move to this weekend where a tough Southeastern Oklahoma team is coming to town. They looked really good against Henderson State last week. Your thoughts on this Southeastern offense?
Well, don't let the 1-2 record fool you about Southeastern Oklahoma State's Savage Storm. They are arguably the most dangerous team that we have faced this year, and they will be one of the most dangerous teams that we face all season. This is a team that has averaged 41 points and 450 yards in total offense over the course of 3 weeks this season behind running back Devlin Wortham, who is averaging 100 yards rushing per game, and the quarterback play of redshirt sophomore Nick Sloson, who's a drop-back passer that distributes the ball very effectively between the law firm of Farmer, Foster, and Gale. Now, this is a trio of wide receivers that has a significant number of their touchdowns, most of the yardage from their entire offensive output, and they'll keep the Tigers secondary busy all night. We've got our work cut out for us.
Now, offensively, what are the Tigers going to need to do in order to score the ball against a very good Southeastern defense?
Well, the good news for Ouachita is that the Southeastern defense gives up almost as many yards as their offense puts up on the board. That means opportunities for us. We get the ball to our playmakers in space, distribute the ball well to our own receivers who have solid hands and enormous speed. Great things should happen for the Ouachita offense. We'll have many opportunities to take advantage of that.
Now, this should be a great measuring stick for us as they did look really good against Henderson State last week. What do you think? How are we going to stack up?
That's definitely something that we always have to take into account. This is the team that has played the Henderson State Reddies more closely than anybody arguably over the course of the last 2 seasons, to say nothing of this season. That shows that they're dangerous, and it means that we've got to be on our guard. This is a game where I feel like X factors like field position, turnovers, mental mistakes like penalties, special teams play, these are the things that are ultimately going to be decisive. But even factoring all of those in, guys, it could come down to who just has the ball last.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Be sure to tweet us with new ideas for the show at The Rundown OBU. For Jackson Carter, I'm Ben Klein. Keep it sporty, Ouachita.
Well, Tiger fans, the time is here. The first home football of the game is here. My name is Jackson Carter, and alongside me is my partner in...
You said home football of the game.
Did I really?
Yeah,
You did.
Dang.
You did. You did.
Not a beat. All right. Okay, you know what we can do? I've got this figured out.
I'm Ben Klein. Keep it sporty, Ouachita.
Ugh.